Welcome back to some more Shadow Empire. We are starting a new turn. The time of relative calm is coming toward its end. We have completed the research of the hospital technology, and we've also discovered a new technology RPG, rocket-propelled grenades, which I believe is going to be a upgrade for the weapon for the bazooka model that we've discovered last time. We have also secured a little bit of fuel in some forgotten stockpile in Folda. We have generated some new stratagems. One of them is War Games, which is a social get-together for all commanders, but also an opportunity to learn. So if we play this card, if we succeed, we can get some experience to all of our commanders. We gain another spy. We are expanding. We have declared some wars. If we take a quick look at the history, we can see that the Habensland troops are falling even more towards the back to protect their town, and we have also been attacked by some rifle militia. However, they don't seem to be very capable, as half of them have perished trying to attack us, even though I believe they would be kind of ambushing us, since I don't think we knew they were there. We didn't have enough recon, but now we do know that they are there. And so we shall move up some more of our troops. We could potentially attack them, and we do have some more militia that we could potentially send that way, but I don't think that this is something that we want to do. We could just try to get these guys to join up. Maybe they do have full supply somehow. I'm not sure. Maybe they're not using up any or something. What's this asset? A derelict spaceship that produces a research points bonus, but it is not connected to any of our territories currently, so I'm not sure, or our zones, so I'm not sure if we are getting this bonus. Let's see what decisions we have to make. No changes here. Economic Council, let's go with the barracks, as we are good on the energy. Walkout agitator in Folda. Workers are being agitated into leaving your public assets in Folda. So we can either try to investigate who the agitator is. What is this? Temp 10 equals 0. I think this is the first time that I'm seeing this. Not sure what does that mean. We could give in to some of their demands, pay them a little bit of credits. This seems to be close to 50-50, although this can go wildly into being a roll very low, very high roll between 2 and 200. Let's just see what do we get. Very low roll for our investigation and fairly high roll for the difficulty. So unfortunately, a critical failure and even more unrest increase. 500 workers left us, which probably means that the zone is up to 18 points, up to 67. That is quite a lot. But we have other more pressing matters to deal with currently. Let's maybe try to go for as much encirclement as we can manage. This would be attacking through a wide river, so that's not something that we would like to do. Let's maybe these rangers have the people's hero, which increases attack value for some of them. So we probably might want them on the offensive, and let's maybe start doing some ranged attacks. We actually managed to kill someone this time.
Roger that.
Some of their infantry troops, we can see that they have these scary sentinel robots, walking mechs. So you can see that the readiness is lowered, their morale is lowered a little bit, entrenchment is lowered, so it would be nice to remember to do the artillery bombardment every turn, lower the stats for them as much as possible before we commit to any sort of attack. And what if we wanted to go for these guys, for example? But these are probably not very ready to commit to an attack. We do get a big advantage thanks to the tanks. However, we would be moving into a forest. We can send these troops as well. I wonder why does the 100 GR Great Machine Gunners change the odds so much to our favor. Maybe we're meeting some threshold or something, or maybe it's thanks to some encirclement, not sure, but I guess we can try to do it. Some of the troops are going to attacking through a river, they are all attacking into a forest, although the river doesn't seem to be that much of a penalty. Mostly to our regular machine gunners. The forest is only an issue for our tanks. Yes, we do get a plus 20% bonus from the concentric attack, so how much we are encircling them. Trying to see if we can see some big difference in any of these bonuses, but we don't, so not sure why the odds suddenly go that much into our favor. On the enemy side, don't see anything as well. Well, let's just try. We outnumber them almost 6-1.
Attack!
They do have the sentinels.
Mission successful.
The sentinel has survived. We have killed quite a few of their infantry, and we have lost a little bit ourselves. 100 rangers, 100 machine gunners. Some have retreated, and as for them, we have killed 900 of their infantry. So overall, I would say a successful attack, especially because we can take the position over the river now. And we should probably see about getting more. Last time we did already order up a lot of the replacement troops, so we still have some more available. We have our ammo going up, all of our resources going up. The bottleneck currently probably being the recruits. We might ask, we are still not getting any from Folda, I think, because if we call Mr. Bedwer
We'll go.
and see how many, yes, we are getting all of our 700 recruits from our capital. Let's push it up to
We'll
900. And we have set up, also asked here
Roger that.
to get some recruits, but we are not getting any. Let's maybe try to pay them a little bit more. Maybe raise the worker's salary again. I believe the rest should stay as is.
Roger that.
Let's confirm that. Work and happiness plus 10. It's still low, but at least a little bit higher. Let's see if we have any stratagems that we'd like to play. We We lost our recon. We have sent spy a few turns ago to this major regime, but apparently we have lost them. We probably can't offer protection to anyone as we are only protector of these guys and we are at war with everyone else pretty much. So let's maybe send another spy into Hapman's land, which should provide us. We have just barely succeeded this role. This should provide us with some more recon in the terrain, which should help us in turn with fighting them. This is a fairly difficult role. Would we like to try to give a bonus to anyone? Director of Model Design Council doesn't like us very much. We can try. It's also very unlikely that we will succeed, but
Yes, sir.
we did. It only increased our relation by 6 points, but it is better than nothing. We could go for an archaeological effort. If successful, you'll find a new archaeological find. Let's try in our capital. The difficulty is the same between Folda and capital of Ball Aether.
Understood.
Just try, and we did not succeed. We missed a little bit. We could give some money. How many credits do we have? Don't have that much, but we can probably sell
Roger
some more
that.
rare earths. We can sell a lot of our food. We can even sell the 2500 because our stocks are fairly high. It's not worth much,
Roger that.
but it's still the money that we need. We could sell the fuel as
Roger
well
that.
because we are not using up as much as we are gaining, and currently traders lack any more funds, so we cannot sell anymore. Let me just read. What does it do exactly? Effect is reduced if more than 20,000 populace, which Folda does have. The difficulty is fairly high, and failure would result having half of our effect, and with critical failure might cause an adverse effect even if we don't be below 50. But then in turn, if we do succeed, we can raise the populace and worker happiness, so let's just
Yes,
try.
sir.
We have failed just barely, so the effect is halved, only 2 points each. But again, we look like we really need it because they are causing trouble pretty much every turn now. And we have the war games left. We still have a bunch of political points to spend, so let's just try it.
Yes, sir.
And another failure. Effect is halved, so only a 2% relation improvement for all of our commanders and 69 experience points. So that's very nice indeed. And if we took a look, for example, well, this is our freshly appointed commander that didn't see any combat, but they still do a whole lot of rolls every turn, trying to get action point bonus, experience bonuses, readiness bonuses to their battalions. And if we take a look at their history, they did see some combat, and then they gained a little bit of experience. They spent 6 experience points in a failed attempt to improve mobile tactics, but they joined the Steel Front. We have to take a look at it. Infantry tactics, they did manage to improve a little bit, so the skills that are marked with the stars are the relevant for their role that they have, which is the operational headquarters leader or commander. So they will try to spend their experience each turn to raise those skills. And we take a look at our factions overview. This is this faction that only had one member previously. Now she also joined them, and the profile for them changed again, I believe. So I think they will full for democracy, and now they are like enforcement and fist. So that's more to our liking a little bit. And they are still heavy for meritocracy and commerce. So that's why we like each other. And I think we have moved all the troops that we were able to. We could try committing another attack, but we don't have a lot of troops ready just yet. These guys already moved. These guys are holding. Maybe we... Okay, we can't move these. We can. So let's move this way so we are not cut off from here. I don't think we need to reinforce this group. We don't want to move our militia from our capital. Let's just keep a small force there in case of any adverse effects or happenings that might occur. Another recycling facility was built. Now I believe Industry 2 is quite expensive, a lot of metals that we do not have. We could go for the bureaucratic office too, as this is not very expensive. It requires a bunch of power, so we can upgrade this, and then we should take a look at our power plant and think about upgrading it. I think even these two built at the same time, we should have at least most of the required resources available, and we still have a lot of people left to become workers. They are not super happy, but they are okay. Civilization score is still slowly rising. Let's see what the private sector is doing. We built the museum 2 some time ago, sewers. I don't see anything newer. Next is town customs. And in here, town customs as well. And they have just finished building a police station, which should go into security, which then in turn might be helpful with the strikes and whatnot. So let's see what next turn brings us. We are now at round 26. We have some new decisions to make. We are starting to get the more cards to recruit new leaders. Spend 300 credits to organize the privatization of a state enterprise gift to a leader. Okay. And also a monetary gift to militia. Shadow diplomat that we can attach to someone to help them with a single skill role. Celebrations have to be organized. Independence Day is approaching. Independence from whom? It is customary to subsidize the festivities. Normally, we would spend the credits on organizing a traditional mass parade. However, there is a traveling orchestra in the country at the moment. We could pay them to compose and perform a great symphony in honor of Jagged Alliance, which is the name of our nation. So we can go for a traditional mass parade, which would increase our government, but reduce meritocracy, which we do not like. We can pay for a symphony, which we'll probably pick, because no festivist, well, one person won't like it, and he will dislike the symphony, but whatever. He doesn't like meritocracy a lot, it seems. And this would decrease both of our profiles, which we also do not want,
Roger
so
that.
let's make most of our people happy, although we have to be careful to piss off someone a lot, because they might defect or even create a rebellion. I think I would like to maybe move a little more points to the Model Design Council
Roger
currently.
that.
And moving the budgets around also changes the relations with the directors of these councils. Economic Council, that's
Understood.
okay. Maybe do we want to go more to prospecting to find a metal source and build like a regular mine instead of just scavenging the ruins? Very nimble fingers in 7th Ball 8 Mobile Regiment. That's I think militia. We like commerce, so let's go
Roger
for the
that.
LH sniper. And let's maybe see if we can pay a bunch of money to one of our leaders that doesn't like us, the director of Model Design Council. And since the relation is so low, I believe this also gives a malus their skill rolls.
Yes, sir.
And then in turn just makes them worse at their job. So even though it was a failure and the effect is halved, the relationship improved a lot. I wonder maybe it's because of one of their personality traits. And now I would like to see your profile. He's very ambitious, very authoritarian. A lot of egoism. Egoist leaders are hard to satisfy, and their loyalty will increase slower than that of a more altruistic leaders. And it increases the chance for them going corrupt. So we might want to replace this person, and we actually technically have the means to do it because we've got those. Let's first. We do not have a spy. Okay. So let's recruit
Yes,
a
sir.
junior and see who we get. Almost zero capability, just improvisation 6 cents, which are and cap 3. So these help with just all of the roles that they do. 18 years old. It did say recruit a junior who tend not to be very skilled. So we might wait and see if we get some better leader recruitment cards in the future. Yes, we see a decline in the energy asset. For some reason, truck station, they didn't get enough fuel because they don't have enough workers. But I believe they should be hired in the coming turns. The happiness is okay, so I don't think there should be a big problem to hire additional ones. We have seen a little bit of movement in here, so let's just continue to push these guys back to help with this militia formation. Unless we just want to push them with these troops. These are militia, we would not be able to replenish them. These are regular troops. And they are not very experienced. Oh, let's just wait. This is not a priority currently. We did see a little bit more.
Negative
We have
breach.
been ambushed. We've moved into a and to try to move into this hex without proper recon, and we have encountered enemy forces. However, they might have not been high on the readiness and action points front, so they didn't hurt us a lot, fortunately. Let's push in more troops. These guys, there is no artillery here. Let's remember to do a artillery strike again, as last time, quite surprisingly. Even though we are just using militia, we were able to kill some troops, and we were able to kill a little bit more again. And we have the elite sniper in here. What does the elite sniper do? We score any hit the target, XP is halved. Let me read that and parse it correctly. It was one of the militia forces with the artillery. Here they are. Master in fighting and terminating enemy officers, those being the most experienced in the enemy formation with the troops, the elite sniper is embedded with score any hit. The target's XP is halved. Okay. So it seems like if we strike, for example, these guardians, they will lose half of their experience, which is quite an interesting mechanic. I can push around them, which is a bit risky, but let's do it anyway. Try to encircle them as much as possible. We can send the headquarters as additional backup. And I think that would be it. As for our assets, we are building the bureaucratic offices and the scavenging furnace 2 as well. Do we want to upgrade the bureaucratic office in here? I think that requires a very high number of workers, from 2.2 to 7k. We do have quite a lot of people available in here. So this is something that we might want to go for. However, this also increases the energy consumption. You don't have any kind of security assets that we can build in here. Industry 1, we don't have the metal necessary, but it's something that we might want to build in the near future. Okay, then let's see what happens in the next turn. And we are now at round 27. We have discovered a water deposit, which reminds me, this is the last turn of Time of Relative Calm, so I believe next turn we will see some new epoch, with probably negative effects. We get a bunch of new cards, Mission Impossible, which can generate as a fate point, but it's, I think, very expensive and very difficult to pull off. Another commercial gift, another junior, and a commercial project, which is a good card to play. Let's start with that, and let's build it in the folder, which will generate a commercial asset in here. And what to do exactly: +1 population happiness, +25 quality of life for entertainment, so that should be good since our populace is not very happy in here. Militia requires our attention. A crisis occurred at militia headquarters. Their leaders are disagreeing over their strategy. If you could find the time to look into their arguments and pay them a visit, it would help sort out their issues. Will you spare the time to help out the military leaders? And of course we will.
Roger that.
Motion that the commerce profile reaches at least 67 and we are quite close. So
Roger
we
that.
will accept it. Did we get a spy? No. We can try to hire another junior.
Yes, sir.
A little bit of no, that's just from the regime. So again, only 6 cents improvisation, 23 years old, cap 3. Not of much use to us. So let's start with the bombardment first.
Fire, ready.
See if we can manage again to be lucky and eliminate some of their troops. And it seems that we have in fact done so. And as well reduce their entrenchment, although it is going up slowly, as well as their morale and their readiness. 100 dead. And what if we tried to just throw everything that we have at them? We technically have good odds against them. Some troops are attacking over a river. Some of our militia troops will get a fairly high penalty. We do get the encirclement bonus. I think we just have to go for it. We outnumber them almost 2-1. However, they have the tough walkers. We have some of the tanks that might counteract these scary big robots. So let's see what happens and how many troops do we lose. Well, first, just to be safe, let's take a look at our resources. We have a lot of ammo in the bank and we have quite a bit of energy, so we should be okay on that front. Yeah, the odds are not looking very good until we put the tanks in, and it's only 10 of them. But I think we have to start pushing the pressure on these guys. We can replenish our forces, and I'm not sure if they can do it at all or as easily as we can. We see a lot of casualties on their side.
Mission successful.
Some on our, and we have won. They have almost all retreated, some panicked. Look at the battle report, only 400 of our rangers died. And that means that we have taken over another zone. We have conquered the town. Let's move our troops just in case. Although I think we'll see what happens to the leftover troops. I think they maybe just disappear. What's in is there anything here? Or is that just the asset icon? So I know sometimes there are some additional things in ruins that you can find while scavenging, but it doesn't seem like it's the case with the ruins that we have available. We see that this terrain was taken away from us probably by the San Antonio Heights, which we are at war with. But these rebels, the San Antonio Heights rebel units, will join these guys and wipe out this small unaligned militia force, and then we will be able to maybe at least hold this road to stall the push of their troops. And I would also like to take a look at our not superior command, but rather the economic council.
Understood.
Change their priorities. To go a little bit more with prospecting. To hopefully find
Understood.
some metal source somewhere underground in one of our zones, so we don't have to rely only on scavenging. We can get a lot more metals a lot quicker if we find like a dedicated metal source. These will be ready next turn. I think we might want to go for industry next in here. We will have the resource necessary in the 3 turns time that it takes to build it, so we
Roger
can
that.
go ahead. And we might want to buy some war
Roger that.
machines and
Roger that.
sell some
Roger that.
of the things that we do not need as much of. We're sitting at 1100 credits, which should be enough to cover anything that might happen. And we will wait 1 turn and see what happens to these troops that no longer have their hometown. So let's see the next turn. And we are now at round 28. It seems like we have a security breach in full. The abductions are happening. And we have entered a new epoch, crisis of passion. A new zeitgeist wanders through the land. We are entering a crisis of passion. The effect is your zones run the risk of suffering unrest-related events, like we didn't have enough of them as is. The current strength of this effect is light. Unrest tests in zones will be modified with +2, so our governors will have a tougher job to counteract them. In the 6 turns, the effects of Crisis of Passion will come in full force. You made it into a new epoch, so we have gained an additional fate point, and luckily it seems that this crisis will not last for very long. And we have managed to conquer a new zone, so that's another fate point for us. We discovered a new power plant technology, which I believe these are power plants that run on oil to generate energy. A little bit of rare metals have been secured, as well as some credits, some new stratagems, archaeology effort again, volunteer drive, and another spy, as well as we can discuss our policy towards Eternity Movement cult. Yes, and we have to keep an eye out for increasing our commerce profile, as we have promised to one of our factions. The Steel Front demands that you hire their candidate. I think these are the guys that we do not like so much. Yes, we prefer the Republican school faction, so although again let's take a look what in their specialty: enforcement fist, military hierarchy, however very weak. So I'm not sure if we will be able to get anyone good from them, so I think we'll just refuse, because this would be another person that we
Aye, aye,
have to
sir.
pay wages to. We have a demagogue in our newly conquered zone. We can try to find them and arrest him, which is a difficulty of 2d100, so And we have minus 25 malice to this roll because we have only just conquered it, so we do not have a governor yet, but I wonder if we can appoint them now. It looks like we have Tallulah Grimes, which would be the best candidate. Is that true? They have 0 skill. Yeah, all of them have 0 skill, so she just has the best stats, it would seem. Let's send our spy. Well, we still remember that we can. Let's maybe spy San Antonio Heights clan. Can, yes, we have succeeded to send a spy to their territory. Let's try recruiting America.
Yes, sir.
Let's see. They have a leadership stat, dangerous story, strategy, political power, morale of units. So it looks like they would be, of course, good as a troop leader and not so much as a zone governor. And we do not have any more cards available for recruiting. So let's just dismiss them, and go with Tallulah Grimes
Sir, yes, sir.
as our new governor. And now we do not have the 25-point malice, so it should be a little bit easier to find the demagogue and arrest him. Oh, this is meritocracy, and we are interested in commerce, is it? It will be harder to do
Sir,
this,
yes,
so
sir.
let's just try this one, but we have failed. A roll of 74 versus difficulty 98. That means that unrest has increased and 2100 people have left our area of control and joined the free folk, which I wonder if it means that they can come back later to us. And there are abductions in Folden. We can try to either chase the slavers or we say that we cannot spare the resources. Well, we should try to help where we can.
Roger that.
And we have rolled 100, so that's like as much as we could have rolled because it's a D100, I think, roll. Plus 50 because of the support, or maybe it includes their offensive defenses skill bonus in this roll. Plus 13 due to security score, plus 5 due to enforcement profile. And thanks to all these bonuses, we were just barely able to succeed and limit the damage substantially. The danger still rose by 13 points, and we have still lost 2,500 people in the zone. But I imagine it could have been much worse. The constructions have finished in our capital. And yes, it does seem that we have taken complete control over this territory and the remaining troops have indeed disappeared. So I think we will try to do a strategic transfer. These guys are moving fairly fast, so we can just send them like this. These are militia. Let's have them walk up to these warm pools and take over. Now our population can take hot baths and they will be a little bit happier. This is fairly far away from our territory. There is a road here, so we might be able to actually send maybe one of our motorized. We do have some militia, without artillery that we can spare, so let's move them out. Motorized can move using their trucks. We have additional troops here. Can we get enough recon? We can. You can see that it's a fairly weak and small militia force that we now have much better odds against because we have better recon thanks to the additional rebel troops that we have moved in.
Kill confirmed.
And they have thankfully surrendered towards the end of the battle, so we can start pushing those troops out again. That's all good and well. Let's see about our assets. I would like to see, maybe wait until next turn to see what our energy situation will be and worker as well, because the bureaucratic offices require a whole lot of people. We technically do have a lot of people available. We might to pay even a little bit more money to our workers here to at least try to alleviate some negative events like worker strikes. And we are still not getting any recruits in here. Let's match the recruitment sign-up bonus to what we have in our capital.
Roger that.
And looks like in the next episode we will have to appoint, well, we have already appointed the governor, but we will have to see what happens with this zone. A lot of people left it. We'll see what we end up on the happiness front. Let's take a quick look at the assets. They have Dome Farm 3, Transport Hub, Light Industry, and there are already some source and police station, which should play into the civilization score, the health and the security score. It went down a lot because we just conquered it, so I hope we can see it go up again to counteract this very high unrest. We have most of our troops in here, so if in case of any hostilities that might break out, we will start moving some of them out. I'm sure we don't need quite as much to quell any uprising. We can try to move the infantry next with the strategic movement command, and we will start moving our troops towards the San Antonio Heights clan, which we are at war with. We are also at war technically with these guys, but they are so far away that I don't think we have to worry about. Let's take a quick look again. It looks like maybe these are moving outer borders a little bit. The Raj probably as well, but they are still fairly far away from us, and one of them are friendly, one of them are hostile, so we should keep an eye on these guys. But yeah, next episode we'll see what happens in our newly conquered city and start moving our troops to maybe get some terrain off from the San Antonio Heights clan.